You probably think winter just means cold nights, icy roads, and maybe shoveling snow off the driveway. But what if I told you there's something much bigger going on? Something even FEMA, the agency that deals with disasters in America, has been quietly preparing for. They've just updated their cold weather checklist, and it's not loaded with expensive survival gear or fancy gadgets. Nope, it's simple, cheap stuff, the kind of things hiding in plain sight in your own home. And here's the scary truth. This winter isn't going to be normal. It's shaping up to be harder, stranger, and more dangerous than most people are ready for. The power grid is already fragile. One Arctic blast could shut it down. We saw it in Texas. Families trapped in freezing homes, burning furniture just to stay alive. We saw it across the Midwest where people went days without heat or power, ripping their houses apart in desperation. That wasn't survival. That was pure panic. But FEMA's list, it's different. It's not about fear. It's about smart preparation. These are 9 everyday items that actually work when the lights go out and the temperature plummets. And the crazy part? You probably already own some of them. You just don't realize how powerful they really are. So let me ask you, have you noticed the weird weather already? The sudden cold snaps, the higher heating bills, the empty shelves at the store? What's happening in your town right now might be the exact preview of what's coming nationwide. Let's start with the first one. Personal heat packs and wearable warmth. Now most people laugh when they hear about battery-powered heat. It sounds like some TikTok gimmick or overpriced gadget, right? But here's the truth. When the power grid fails, your thermostat is useless. Your cozy blanket feels like tissue paper against an Arctic chill. And this is where personal heat devices change the game. I'm talking about rechargeable hand warmers, battery-heated vests, even using the same batteries from your cordless drill with a heating adapter. The trick isn't to warm your whole house. You'll never win that battle. The trick is to warm you, your chest, your hands, your back, your core. If your body stays stable, you survive. But if your core temperature drops degree by degree, hypothermia creeps in like a thief in the night. And the beauty of these devices, they're small, targeted, and incredibly effective. One charged pack can keep you warm for hours. You can rotate it between family members or tuck it under blankets to stretch its life. And unlike candles or burning furniture, they don't fill your home with smoke, carbon monoxide, or fire hazards. Experts are clear. These batteries won't cook your food or heat an entire room, but they will keep your body alive until the grid comes back or help arrives. And sometimes, that's the razor-thin line between misery and survival. So don't roll your eyes at battery-powered heat. Stock up on rechargeable warmers. Keep extra packs charged and ready. If you can swing it, grab a heated vest too. You don't fight winter by trying to warm the walls and the square footage around you. You fight it by warming yourself. That's survival. That's FEMA's logic. And the truth is, it works. Now let's move to number 8, fortress blankets. I know what you're thinking. A blanket? Really? That sounds boring. But here's the cold reality. Most of those fluffy fleece throws you see all over Instagram, the ones that look soft and cozy, they're useless when the grid collapses. They'll make you feel snug for a few minutes, sure, but when your house starts leaking heat like a cave, they'll betray you fast. That's why FEMA doesn't waste time recommending cheap fleece. They point to serious blankets. The kind built for survival, not for looks. Think heavy wool, military-grade synthetics, or old-school thermal layers. The kind your grandmother might have folded at the foot of her bed. Not glamorous, but incredibly effective. Here's why it matters. When your body heat escapes through a thin layer of fabric, you lose energy without realizing it. First comes fatigue, then mental fog. And if you're older, sick, or already weak, that slide can be deadly. A fortress blanket stops that energy bleed. Its dense weave traps warm air, cycles it back to you, and creates a barrier that doesn't give up after an hour. And these blankets aren't just for sleeping. They can double as ground covers when the cold floor is draining your heat, wedge into drafty windows, hang across doorways, or even seal off one room so your family can huddle in and survive together. That's not just a blanket, that's multi-use survival gear. Not multi-use survival gear. The invisible danger here is simple. People underestimate the cold until it's too late. They assume their everyday blanket will hold the line. But when the temperature inside your home plunges 20 degrees during a blackout, cozy becomes worthless. Substance wins. Forget soft and stylish. Choose wool. Choose rugged synthetics. That's why FEMA drives one truth into every preparedness guide. Non-perishable food is not optional. It's essential. And don't get this twisted. We're not talking about a few cans in the pantry or half-open cereal boxes. We're talking about real survival meals. Freeze-dried packs, retort pouches, MREs, high-calorie ration bars. Food that can sit quietly in your closet for years, waiting to be your lifeline. No fridge, no stove. Sometimes no water even required. Tear open the pack. Eat. Keep going. The power in these kits isn't flavor. It's reliability. 25-year shelf lives, multi-layer seals to keep out oxygen and moisture. Everything built to last. Some packs need a splash of water. Some you can eat straight from the bag. When trucks can't deliver, when grocery shelves are bare, you won't be the one panicking. You'll be eating while everyone else is scrambling. The invisible danger is real. People underestimate hunger in emergencies. They think, I'll ration, but rationing weakens you faster than you expect. When your body runs out of calories in freezing weather, it gives up warmth to save energy. That's when hypothermia sneaks in with the door wide open. The right emergency food kit doesn't just keep you full. It keeps your core burning, your mind sharp, your willpower alive. Don't just stash random cans and call it a plan. Build a survival pantry. Choose high-protein pouches, calorie-dense bars, lightweight grains. Rotate them yearly. Keep some in a go bag, some in your basement. Spread it out so one accident doesn't wipe it all out. In a blackout winter, food isn't about taste. It's about energy. It's about survival. Meal packs might seem boring, but let me tell you, they're one of the most practical, most life-saving investments you can make right now. Forget style or flavor. In a blackout winter, these packs could be the difference between surviving and giving up. Number 4. Old-school oil lamps. When the lights go out, most people panic. They grab their phone flashlight, burn through the last 20% of battery, and then sit in darkness, hoping the power comes back soon. But here's what FEMA still acknowledges, and what your grandparents understood instinctively. A kerosene lamp is a weapon against the dark. Not fancy, not digital, just rugged, steady light when everything else dies. Let's be honest. LED lanterns are fine until the batteries die. Flashlights, great for a few hours. But night 2, night 3, that's where a kerosene lamp becomes invaluable. Strike a match, adjust the wick, and suddenly you've got steady light for 10, 15, even 20 hours on a single fill. It doesn't beep, it doesn't fail in the cold, it just burns. And the bonus? It gives off a little warmth. Not enough to heat the whole house, but enough to take the edge off in one corner of a room. History proves it. During the Northeast blackout of '65 or ice storms that crippled towns, people gathered around kerosene lamps, not just to see, but to survive. You can even cook small meals on top, or reflect the flame off a mirror to magnify the glow. One lamp can become a literal lifeline. Of course, safety rules matter. Keep it away from curtains, ventilate properly, store fuel safely, but when handled correctly, a kerosene lamp is as close to foolproof emergency lighting as you can get. Unlike fragile technology, it doesn't care if the internet is down or the power lines are frozen. It just works. And here's the invisible danger most people overlook. Total darkness. It messes with your mind. Fear grows. Families fray. Darkness isn't just inconvenient. It's psychological warfare. A steady lamp flame cuts that in half. It reassures, calms, and keeps morale intact, while you wait for daylight or rescue. So don't rely on batteries alone. If you're serious about winter prepping, add a kerosene lamp to your kit. While everyone else scrambles in pitch black, you'll be sitting in warm, steady light, one step ahead. Number 3. A survival-grade multi-fuel stove. When the lights flicker off and your kitchen goes silent, here's the brutal truth. All those shiny appliances you brag about on social media, dead weight. Your air fryer, your microwave, even that fancy induction stove, they're just useless metal boxes. Food sits in your pantry, frozen calories staring at you, but you can't cook it. You can't heat it. You can't even boil water. That's not survival, it's slow failure. Enter the survival-grade multi-fuel stove. It's not sleek, it's not smart, but it doesn't care about the grid, your gas line, or the Wi-Fi. It runs on whatever fuel you've got: propane, wood, alcohol, or even solid fuel tablets. Suddenly you can cook, boil, or heat food, no matter what the blackout throws at you. In a winter emergency, that's not luxury. It's the difference between nourishment and desperation. Propane, kerosene, butane, white gas, even rubbing alcohol in some models. Some survival stoves are so versatile, they'll even run on twigs. Choose blankets designed to outlast a freeze. Because when the grid goes dark and the temperature dives, your blanket isn't comfort anymore, it's armor. And in a fight against winter, armor is the only thing that counts. Which brings us to number 7. Thermal window shields. And almost nobody thinks about this one. Your biggest enemy in a blackout isn't just the freezing air outside, it's your own windows. Those shiny glass panes turn into gaping holes in your home's defenses, bleeding out every bit of heat you struggle to hold onto. And in sub-zero weather, that's not just a draft, it's a death sentence. FEMA has been hammering this point for years. Protect your windows. Don't fool yourself into thinking a couple of dollar store curtains will do the trick. If you really want to survive a brutal winter blackout, you need insulated window shields, heavy coverings, multi-layer barriers that stop heat from escaping and block icy drafts from sneaking in. Your grandmother knew this instinctively. She didn't have a smart thermostat or fancy gadgets, but she understood how to make a house hold its heat. Quilts over windows, blankets tacked up, even newspaper layered between cloth and glass. Crude? Sure. Effective? Absolutely. And science agrees. The Department of Energy confirms that insulated window coverings can reduce heat loss by up to 40%. That's survival-grade efficiency. Think about it. When the power goes out, the furnace shuts down, and within hours your home starts to feel like a freezer. Most people panic. They scramble, they shiver, they make mistakes. But the smart move is to target the weak points. Windows are the enemy. One heavy covering, a DIY panel of cardboard and cloth, even a reflective sheet, and you slow the escape of warmth. That buys you hours, sometimes days. The danger is subtle. You don't always feel cold seeping through glass. It's quiet, sneaky, and before you know it, your core temperature has dropped dangerously low. That's why preppers and survivalists never skip windows. They fortify them. So stop thinking heaters first. Start with defense. Build shields for your windows now, using blankets, foam boards, reflective insulation, whatever you can get. Because when the blackout hits and the cold is clawing at your walls, the only thing standing between you and hypothermia might be the layers you stapled to your windows. Protect the glass. Protect your body. That's the formula. Now number 6, off-grid radiant heat sources. Cold isn't just uncomfortable, it's a predator. It sneaks in slowly, numbs your fingers, stiffens your joints, and before you know it, your body is giving up without a fight. When the grid goes down and your furnace becomes a useless hunk of metal in the basement, what do you reach for? Not a candle, not a flashlight. You reach for real heat. Heat that doesn't vanish the second the Wi-Fi dies. That's where fuel-powered radiant heaters come in. Propane, kerosene, or catalytic heaters. They are standard in FEMA emergency shelters for one simple reason: they don't rely on electricity. They produce infrared warmth that heats your body directly, not just the air around you. Imagine this. The wind is howling outside, your house is silent, you're wrapped in every blanket you own, and still you're freezing. Then you turn on a radiant heater. Suddenly the chill loses control, your chest warms, your hands thaw, your hope flickers back. But let's be real, these heaters aren't toys. They come with strict rules, and ignoring them can cost you more than discomfort. Ventilation, proper placement, and fuel safety aren't optional. Master them and you gain life-saving warmth. Fail and the consequences could be deadly. Ignore safety rules with a fuel-powered heater, and you're not just freezing. You're risking frostbite, fire, or carbon monoxide poisoning. You need ventilation. You need clearance. No curtains, no paper, nothing flammable within a few feet. A proper heater has an oxygen depletion sensor and a tip-over shutoff. Use the wrong model, or ignore the instructions, and a simple attempt to stay warm can turn deadly. But used correctly, nothing beats a radiant heater in a winter blackout. Fuel is your lifeline. Propane tanks or kerosene cans can sit ready for months, waiting for that night when the electricity fails. Unlike a battery pack that dies in hours, a gallon of fuel can buy you heat night after night. Bottom line, if you're prepping for a grid-down winter, blankets alone won't cut it. Stock a safe, fuel-powered radiant heater. Stock extra fuel. Learn how to use it now, before disaster hits. Because in the dead of winter, off-grid heat isn't a luxury, it's survival. Number 5. Long-life emergency meal kits. You can survive the dark, you can fight the cold. But try surviving without food for even a few days, and you'll experience a quiet, creeping despair. Hunger doesn't scream, it whispers. Your hands shake, your thoughts fog, your muscles refuse to obey.